Many people start investing picturing their money growing exponentially year after year, achieving financial freedom effortlessly. But here is the brutal reality. Investing mistakes, especially early on, don't just cost you the money you lose. They cost you exponentially more in compounded growth that you miss out on over decades. For instance, losing just one initial investment of $50,000 could potentially translate to forfeiting over $300,000 of potential wealth growth over a 20-year period. In this analysis, we reveal the 10 most costly and common mistakes that cause new and experienced investors to fail or give up, ensuring you build the right foundation for long-term success. Investing is one of the most powerful tools for building long-term wealth, offering slow and steady gains over time. But those who seek shortcuts, lack patience, or make emotional decisions often find the market acts as a potent engine of wealth destruction. By identifying these behavioral and structural pitfalls, you can adopt a strategic approach and avoid unnecessary losses. Before starting, it is important to say that I am not a financial advisor, and this video is strictly for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. The information shared does not constitute personalized financial or investment advice, nor a solicitation to buy or sell any financial instrument. Investing capital carries inherent risk, including the potential to lose your entire principal investment, and past performance offers no guarantee of future results. You must always conduct your own research. The first mistake is trying to time the market. The most common mistake is the belief that you can consistently predict market movements, perfectly buying at the bottom and selling at the peak. This strategy is often akin to gambling rather than measured investing, because predicting short-term highs and lows consistently is essentially impossible, even for experts. If you wait for the perfect time to invest, you risk watching the market rally without you, or you may buy right before an unexpected drop. History demonstrates the sheer cost of this error. Missing even a small number of the market's best performing days can dramatically reduce your long-term returns, sometimes cutting your potential gains in half or more. The core lesson, favored by expert investors, is that success comes from time in the market, not timing the market. Instead, you could use an approach like dollar-cost averaging, where you invest consistent amounts over time, regardless of whether the market is up or down, which helps smooth out fluctuations. True wisdom in investing involves focusing only on what is important and knowable, such as identifying superior businesses, rather than trying to predict macroeconomic variables like interest rates. The next mistake we will review refers to panic selling during volatility. When the market dips significantly, fear and emotion take over, compelling investors to sell to prevent further losses. A major pitfall. This emotional reaction turns a temporary paper loss into a permanent, actual loss. Events like the market bust around the global pandemic demonstrated this perfectly. Many sold during mass fear, only to miss the significant gains that followed the recovery shortly thereafter. Market downturns, including wars and recessions, are a normal cyclical part of long-term growth, and historically, the market has always bounced back. The key is patience, which is often the factor that transfers money from the impatient to the patient. For you to behave like this, a critical safety measure is maintaining an emergency fund, ensuring you are never forced to liquidate investments at an unfavorable time to cover unexpected expenses. Mistake 3 is chasing hype and fads. This is known as recency bias. Many beginners are prone to chasing hot stocks or recent top-performing investments, acting on hype or recommendations instead of research. This recency bias often leads to buying assets that are already overpriced, assuming that exceptional recent returns will continue indefinitely. When an investment becomes trendy, it often attracts unreasonable valuations, and late entrants typically lose money once the inevitable crash occurs, as seen during historical bubbles. Examples include new age companies that ultimately face product rejection or bankruptcy, or micro-cap and penny stocks that are often associated with low-quality companies and dramatic declines in value. A better approach is to balance new, trendy investments with time-tested or boring assets, focusing on building a robust portfolio rather than seeking quick riches. The fourth mistake is misunderstanding true risk tolerance. Many investors overestimate their emotional ability to handle risk, realizing they cannot bear the volatility only when a deep market downturn actually occurs. You must understand risk in three ways: tolerance, meaning emotional resilience for volatility; capacity, what you can afford to lose; and required risk, which is what is needed to meet your goals. Choosing a risk level that is too aggressive can lead to panic selling at the worst possible time. Conversely, selecting a strategy that is too conservative, such as holding too many bonds when young, can forgo potential long-term growth needed to reach financial goals. Younger investors generally have a longer time horizon, which allows more time to recover from market drops, making a more aggressive allocation appropriate. But the right level is always the one you can stick with through thick and thin. This self-knowledge is crucial because the investor's chief problem, as Benjamin Graham noted, is often themselves. The next mistake we will review is the lack of diversification, meaning over-concentration. A fundamental error is the failure to diversify, which means putting too much capital into a single stock, sector, or investment type. Diversification is necessary to limit downside risk and ensure that the failure of one investment does not destroy the entire portfolio. Concentrated positions, such as placing all your savings into a company-specific stock, carry lethal consequences if that company fails, as devastatingly illustrated by the collapse of companies like Enron. Beginners should diversify across different industries, companies, and asset classes like stocks and bonds. Index funds or ETFs are excellent vehicles for this, as they automatically provide broad market exposure to thousands of companies at a lower risk level than individual stocks. Furthermore, diversifying geographically is essential, as focusing only on your domestic market, which is called home bias, means missing out on the growth opportunities and stability provided by over 96% of the global market. While active investors may intentionally hold fewer stocks, like 6 or so, diversification acts as a necessary protection for those who are not actively analyzing businesses. Mistake 6 is an asset location 1 and refers to not using tax-advantaged accounts. A critical structural mistake is failing to utilize accounts that shelter gains from taxation in asset classes such as stocks. To avoid this situation, ISAs or Roth IRAs are designed to maximize long-term wealth with favorable tax treatment. Many beginners start with a standard general investment account, only to realize later that all their dividends and capital gains are liable for tax, significantly eating into returns. Utilizing these tax-efficient wrappers is one of the easiest ways to improve long-term returns, without taking on additional risk. Because all gains within these accounts are tax-free, investors, especially younger ones, can afford to be slightly more aggressive and optimize for higher upside potential, provided they avoid catastrophic losses. The general rule should be to maximize contributions to these tax-advantaged accounts first, before considering taxable brokerage options. The next mistake is ignoring fees and expenses when investing. While seemingly small, high management fees, trading commissions, and administrative costs can severely erode investment returns over many years. The difference between high-cost and low-cost funds, even a difference of less than 2% in annual fees, can amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars in foregone returns over 3 decades. This long-term cost is why low-cost options, particularly exchange-traded funds, are often championed as the best way to keep more of your money working for you. Investors should aim for low-cost passive funds with expense ratios not exceeding 0.3%. Additionally, high investment turnover, this means frequently buying and selling, also decreases returns by incurring high transaction costs and potentially subjecting gains to less favorable short-term tax rates. In some cases, a financial advisor's fee might be justified if their expertise helps navigate complex tax laws or ensures the portfolio remains optimized, offsetting their cost. Mistake 8 is investing without a clear goal or plan. Entering the market without a defined financial plan or objective leaves investors feeling lost, making them highly susceptible to impulsive, emotional decisions. A solid plan must identify objectives, such as retiring early or saving for a child's education, and establish a clear time horizon like 5, 10, or 30 years. Without this roadmap, there is no objective measure for success, leading to stress and tinkering when markets move unexpectedly. Knowing your why provides the necessary discipline to stay consistent, especially during volatile periods. Furthermore, many investors also commit the error of getting attached to their purchase price, holding on to losing investments purely to break even or recover a sunk cost. The purchase price is irrelevant. The only factor that should determine a sell decision is the asset's likely future performance. Investors should always try to pretend they have a blank slate when evaluating their holdings. A defined plan allows you to periodically rebalance your assets, ensuring your allocations continue to align with your time horizon and risk profile, which is necessary as market fluctuations cause portfolios to drift. The lack of due diligence is the next mistake we will review. Investing in an asset or company you don't fully understand is a critical error. When investing in individual stocks, beginners should generally avoid unprofitable companies, those with total expenses exceeding total earnings, producing negative net income. Investing in an unprofitable business is a high-risk bet that the company will achieve profitability before running out of capital, whereas profitable companies have already proven their sustainable business model. There is a profound difference between a compelling idea and a proven, successful business. New investors are also vulnerable to low-priced, highly speculative micro-cap or penny stocks, which should generally be avoided due to the high risk of dramatic value declines. Reliance on amateur recommendations, whether from friends, family, or stock market experts, is also a trap, as their advice may not align with your personal financial goals or risk capacity. Furthermore, trying to precisely mimic the success of legendary institutional investors, such as Warren Buffett, is often naive because they operate with resources, risk appetites, and entry points that the average person cannot replicate. Effective research does not have to be complex, but must involve understanding company fundamentals, revenue, growth, and the underlying market trends. The last mistake is waiting too long to start. This is called the mistake of omission. Perhaps the single biggest mistake is the failure to act at all, often stemming from the false belief that you need to learn every detail or find the perfect time before investing. Warren Buffett categorized failures to act on known opportunities as mistakes of omission, which he estimated cost his company billions. Time is an investor's most critical advantage, and delaying the start, even by just a decade, can cost more than half of your potential compounded returns. Compounding interest works powerfully for those who start sooner, allowing even small, consistent contributions to grow significantly over time. So, the best time to start investing was yesterday. The second best time is today. To overcome inertia, you should automate your investments, setting up regular contributions to remove the reliance on willpower and ensure consistency, which is the key to successful wealth building. In the end, successful investing is a marathon, not a sprint, and it requires patience and discipline. By focusing on the principles we discussed, namely, controlling your emotions, prioritizing long-term thinking, staying diversified, and using tax-advantaged accounts, you protect your capital and control the variables that are within your power. The market rewards those who stay invested and avoid the compulsion to constantly trade or chase short-term gains. If you embrace simplicity, keep your costs low, and allow time and compounding to do the heavy lifting, you significantly enhance your probability of reaching your financial goals. Remember, the person who starts investing earlier has a powerful advantage over the one who tries to pick the best stocks. Think of investing like steering a massive cargo ship. You don't need to predict every single wave or market movement. You just need a clear destination, meaning a financial goal, the right course plotted, which refers to diversification and risk profile, and enough fuel achieved with consistent contributions to stay on course until you reach your goal decades later. Now, I want to hear from you. What is the biggest investing mistake you have personally made? And what crucial lesson did that experience teach you about handling the market's volatility? Share your insights in the comments section below to help our entire community learn and grow. If this detailed breakdown of investment pitfalls enhanced your knowledge, please drop a like on this video to support our work. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future informative content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.